Uchenna, congrats. Starting off your Seahawks career with Player of the Week. It's going to be nice.
Yeah. Who would have thought, you know? Blessed, but thank you.
You said after the game that you didn't think that you were perceived as the player you actually are. What do you mean by that?
I feel like there's certain people out there, you know, talk critics and, you know, writers and all that stuff that just think that or say, oh, he's this, but he ain't this, you know? I feel like people still sleeping on me. I feel like I'm still underrated, which is fine. I've been that my whole life. But I feel like I'm just trying to work to be able to put some more respect on my name, you know, and just this is a step in the right direction. I'm going to keep it up and just keep trying my best to keep proving myself.
Was part of coming here, did you see an opportunity to maybe do some of that?
Absolutely. Around a team like this that has a lot of hungry young talent, guys that can go out there and perform any night. I would love to be a part of this. The culture here, the standard here, it's amazing. And when I saw the opportunity or got the opportunity to come here, I jumped on it. So, yeah.
Did you play in that stadium in 2018? That was your rookie year, right?
Yes, I think it was 2018, my rookie year. Still was loud, but not this loud. But yeah, this is my second time playing in that stadium.
What do you remember about just the atmosphere of that game?
It was just really loud. Couldn't really hear nothing. Or for us, from the defensive standpoint, we could hear because the offense was quiet, you know, for them. But when our offense was out there, it was really loud. You couldn't hear nothing. And, you know, as a player, you, love stuff like that. You know, you feed off that crowd noise, so it was a great experience for me.
Did you get a lot of other interest from teams during free agency, or did you just kind of hop on the Seahawks real fast and it was over?
Yeah, I had a couple other interests. No, you know, quite offers yet, but different interests, you know.
Obviously, the Broncos were running a little different offense, but you had gone against Garrett Bowles several times, being for the AFC West. How much did that benefit you in this game, especially with the crowd noise also playing into it? Yeah,
it benefits a lot. Like you said, the crowd noise, that's huge. You know, when teams have to go off a silent count, you know, as an edge rusher, or any rusher, that's what you live for because, you know, you get a jump on that ball a lot easier. And so, you know, going up against the Broncos in this situation, playing them 2 times a year for the last 4 years really helped experience-wise, and we went out there and showed out.
What was it like watching the tape back of those couple goal line stands and the way you guys stood up there?
Repeat that?
What was it like watching the tape back of those couple goal line stands and the way you guys held up and seeing it back?
It was great, you know, just to go back and really see what actually happened because when you're out there, everything's just flying all over the place. You don't really know what's going on, but to go back there and rewatch what actually happened, it was cool to see certain guys, you know, everybody contribute, whether it's Big Al in the middle when he gets the pushback that forces the running back to jump cut, and you know I can stick my hand in there and punch the ball out, or you know Josh coming off the edge and making the running back stop, or Q Diggs coming in hitting, forcing that fumble. So when you get back to seeing the film and going out there and seeing how everything transpired, it's really cool to watch.
Impressive seeing a guy Diggs' size pack a punch the way he does.
Yeah, I didn't expect it, man. You know, Diggs, he suffers from that little man syndrome, you know, so he always tries to big dog everybody, which is cool. You know, Diggs, I respect Diggs, but, you know, he just packs a lot of power, a lot of punch, and, you know, he's well respected in the locker room and on that field, and his presence, you know, carries a lot of weight.
How did Jordan handle relaying everything to you guys in the middle with all the noise that was going on?
Not gonna lie, it was tough. It was tough, but he did a good job just because of the crowd noise. But, you know, Jordan, I know his voice is probably over there sore, but he was over there screaming his lungs out, communicating like hell, man, trying to make sure everybody was lined up, and he did a good job for us overall.
Is how the Seahawks using you the same as the Chargers, or are they doing some different things with you at all? Or
it's pretty much kind of similar for what I did, you know, dropping, rushing. I guess I can say I have a little bit more freedom, whether I can go inside or outside. And how I play and how aggressive I can be in certain situations, and it benefits me.
The play you dropped on the play when you then kind of scrambled after Russell and got him out of bounds. I guess that play in particular, what happened on that play? I mean, what did you see?
Oh, you know, we just made a. I ain't trying to give away this game, but we basically just checked into something. I just had to communicate to my line, just kind of, you know, be helpful to my teammates, and you know, they asked me to do something, and I do it, you know. So I was able to just get in the window, provide some help, and then once I see Russell scramble, just go after and chase him down.
Pete talked about some of the things in run defense that you guys need to clean up this week. Given the opponent, you know, the way they can run the ball in San Francisco, just how big a task is that this week?
It's the number one task. You know, you don't win in this league unless you stop the run. And the way that San Francisco runs the ball and how they got all these different motions and different looks and different shifts, you got to be on top of your game, you know. And so that's what we preach going into this week, and that's one thing that we've been practicing really hard.
As an athlete, what is the biggest challenge in the quicker turnaround, short week after such an emotional win on Monday Night Football in front of everyone, and have to go on the road and face a divisional opponent?
Yeah, I'll say the biggest challenge is probably just getting your bodies back right. You know, after you play a physical game like that comes down to the wire, using every strength, every ounce of energy that you have, you know, you tend to, you know, the next day you feel it, you know. So make sure you get in the ice bath, the hot tubs, you stretch, you know, you work out, get a good workout in, and getting your bodies ready to go for the next week.
What about mentally, though? Obviously, because so much emotion goes into that one win on Monday.
You know, we're all professionals, you know. We know how to handle situations like this. We have a lot of good leaders in the locker room that can help to guide the young guys who might not know yet. But it's next game. You know, that's behind us. That was, what's today? Wednesday, that was 2 days ago. You know, so it's on to the next opponent. It's 17 weeks. We got one down. We got 16 more to go.
Did you follow Pete much? I mean, I know he was at USC a while ago. I guess you would have been fairly young. But during that time there, I know you grew up there and everything. Were you kind of a fan of Pete's or whatever growing up?
Honestly, no. I wasn't really a football guy growing up. I was mainly a basketball guy. And I idolized Kobe Bryant, the Los Angeles Lakers. You know, I didn't really get into football probably until sophomore year of high school. I didn't really start watching NFL until I got to college. But I know Pete. Every time his name is mentioned at USC, it means a lot, you know. And to be able to be here and working with him again, and just be a part of that culture and what he brought back then and what he's bringing back now, it's an honor.
What's the challenge in preparing for a quarterback who can run and is such a big part of the run game that Trey is going to be for them this week?
Yeah, I'll probably say the key factor that goes into that is just discipline. Like I said, you know, they got a lot of shifts and motions, and, you know, Trey Lance is a big dude with a big arm that can run, you know, so you be having good discipline and making sure you're on your assignments and keys and making sure you do your job. It's going to be the big point.
Anything else? Thanks, sir.
Thank you, guys.
Great.